Fuck, when, Lord, when? When's gonna be my time?
We happy? Vincent? We happy?
Yeah, we happy.
You're late to work, who gives a fuck? It's your life, bitch! Fuck you, boss, I'm late! I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late. What you gonna be doing about it? I said I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late. You gonna fire me? There's no one else here, bitch! Late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late. You gonna fire me? That's cute. Late, 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 late. Ah.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? Right? There's no second best. Okay. It's not like,
Man. Thank goodness.
Is risky business.
That woman fighting in the bed gets me every time. Welcome to the HEX Late Show. It's 43 OG. Hang on a second. Let me turn on my camera. What's going on? It's 43 OG here with you on a Tuesday evening. I've got my Schweppes natural mineral water with a hint of blood orange and mango right there. Can't do a stream without one of these. Oh yeah, and I've got someone waiting in the wings. Let me bring him up. Mr. Mayo. What's going
up,
on?
Team? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. What's going on with you?
We're flat out working. Flat out like a lizard drinking.
God, I can turn off the camera if you really. I got Red Squirrel freaking out over here. He's like, turn off the camera. Turn off the camera.
Wow, what's he doing?
He got used to me just having that beautiful bull. Yep.
We all want the bull.
We all want the bull. Well, you got this. You got my face for the next little bit, anyway.
There's the bull. We're all bulls.
So, mate, you've been working. We haven't seen you in quite a while. What's been going on?
Oh, heaps. Work away from home. Some dramas with the dog and the missus, but all good. Back on holidays now. Trying to
Well,
play
that's good,
catch up
man.
with everything. I missed out on all the other DXs. What else?
How,
Liquid loans.
how long have you got like holidays?
3 weeks.
Perfect. 3 weeks is good, man. 3 weeks is long enough for it to feel like a holiday. Those 2 week holidays, they just yeah, you'll take it, but it's just doesn't cut it, mate.
Yeah, it's not
Don't
enough.
cut it. Not
Any
enough.
more than 3 is like you get bored.
So with a 3 week holiday, you can go on like a 10-day holiday in the middle of that holiday, and then still have holiday on each side of that vacation,
Yeah,
and still feel
that's
good about it.
yeah. I always want time to like chill out before and after you go and come back. If that makes sense.
Oh, there's nothing
Yeah.
worse than coming back from a holiday and having to go to work the next day, or like you need time to have a little mini relax holiday after your holiday, especially if you're traveling, especially if you're flying. Oh man, like if you're coming from Europe. Oh, you went to, when did you go to Europe? It wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, it was
Was it a year
middle of
ago?
last year. Yeah, just over a year.
Okay, so it was a while ago.
Yeah. Yeah, time's gone quick.
Yeah, well, I mean, we haven't seen you in 6 months, mate. It feels like it's been 6 months.
Fucking hell, has it been that long?
Well, we're Christmas, so
Haven't been
you know.
around since tax time. Been busy.
Well, in Australia, we work the first 5 months of the year for the tax man. That's what we do.
Chill the rest.
Yeah. So, what's been going on? So, yes, in the RH ecosystem, what's been going on? We've been let's talk about HEX first of all. What's HEX been doing? We've had a little bit of a pump actually in HEX in the last. Let me just bring it up. I'll bring up the bubbles. Hey, bring up the crypto bubbles.
Everybody likes a big green bubble.
Yep. Where are they? Crypto bubbles. There we go. Everything's green. Look at that. Everything's green. Pulse up night. What's it? This is the day. That's the way. That's the day. Okay. Over the last week, this is the last week. Can you see that? No, you can't even see that. Here, I thought I was sharing my screen, and I wasn't doing anything. There we go.
We even got the Santa hats going.
Yeah. So we've got HEX on PulseChain up 23% in the last week. PulseX up 23%. HEX on Ethereum up 16.4. Pulse up 23. And then so the RH ecosystem in the last week just smashing it.
Looking pretty good.
Yep. And what else have we got? Have you seen Scout?
Yeah, I've looked in a little bit at it, but not fully into it yet. So let's go through it.
Well, I was just having a look at this feature here where they sort of help you. I mean, this website is jam-packed with stuff, right? There's lots and lots of stuff you can do on here. But if you go to buy and then you go, what is HEX, and start from the start, and then you can sort of like slide the scale up to what you want to invest, and this can like guide you on what's the best staking strategy for you. So let's say your budget is, you've got $5,000. Click next. How old is the beneficiary? Say the beneficiary is 29 years old. Next. How long can the beneficiary delay initial income withdrawals? What do you reckon? Like in this day and age of HEX, how long would you want to wait? Like, how long would you put your first stake out? I mean, it depends on your situation. The younger you are, maybe you think longer term. If you're turning 65, you're not going to go put in a 15-year stake, are you?
You never know. They might find some kind of long-living
Miracle drug,
miracle.
a miracle suppository.
Or they've got something we don't know about.
Let's just say 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. And then it sort of, what's it do? It gives you like a staking ladder. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh,
So
that's
does
cool.
that split that amount up, has it, between multiple stakes?
Yeah, it does that. It does that. And it also tells you like how many hex you'll get out of it by the end of the stake. So for example, if you're to stake now, for the first stake comes out in 5 years, and you stake 174,000 hex in the hex contract, which is the immutable contract. Whatever you stake, you're going to get paid out in terms of hex. So the contract can do that no matter what. Which, contrary to the popular uneducated belief in the crypto sphere, people think, the hex contract can never pay. It can never pay out what it says it's going to pay out. It can always pay out what it says it's going to pay out because it's a smart contract, and it's just been coded that way. So if you stake 174 principal, 174k hex, you'd get 35 T shares. And over the course of 5 years till December 2028, when that matures, and this maturity figure here of 588,000 hex maturity, that's just a rough guesstimate. There's no way to because the system is fluid, there's no way to actually know exactly what it's going to be, because there's something called a daily payout, and that daily payout is really based upon how many T shares are locked in the system, and who emergency end stakes and things of this nature. So it can never be 100%. It's just always a rough guide. But here in 5 years, that 174,000 hex stake would turn to just under 600,000 hex, which is, you're basically being paid with the inflation in the system for the time that you put in. Which is pretty cool, I reckon. I reckon that's something that's pretty cool. And then there's a few more stakes after that. Now, what's interesting is if you have a look at this stake here, this second stake, I'm not sure if you can see that. If you look at this second stake here, it's 75,000K hex, and that's been staked for 10 years, right? It's only 22 shares, T shares. But it's interesting that, and this is an important thing to understand about the hex contract. It's interesting how that 75, that's almost a whole 100,000 hex less than that 5 year stake. But the payout is going to be similar in terms of hex. It's going to be similar. So you're going to be, around that 600K mark, roughly. It could be more, could be less, because these are just guesstimates. And then you've got a 13-year stake, and that's for just under 100,000 hex, and that would get you just shy of 1 million hex payout. And the 15-year stake, which is just under 150,000 hex, and that one would do what is it? An 11x? Is that an 11x or 12x? Just under a 12x. in terms of hex that you get at the end. So ultimately, you're starting with just under 500,000 hex, and staked over the course of between 5 and 15 years, you'd come out of it with around 3.9 million hex, and that's going to be like, you're going to get the hex if you follow the contract rules. You're going to get the payout from the contract. There's no central entity. There's no
No middleman.
there's no middleman who can decide not to pay you out.
You just have to stick to your commitment for that period.
Yeah, it's a smart contract. Yeah.
And the other thing a lot of people forget too is the word compounding in front of that as well.
Yeah, and that's why the longer stakes work out so well, because the longer you stake, you're getting more T-shares for the time. So the way it works out is, if you stake for a day compared to staking for 10 years, if you stake the same amount of hex, you'll get 3 times the amount of T-shares, and those T-shares are what are giving you your daily payout. That's what's determining how much daily payout you get. So, for example, there's a website called HEX.
Daily stats.
Yeah. So it got moved to hexstats.today, and it is Hex Daily Stats, and we can go there and have a look at what the daily payout is at the moment. So at the moment, and I think this is, what is this one? I never know which one's which. Is the top one Pulse or Ethereum? I never know. Is there something that tells me here? Irrelevant. Doesn't matter. The daily payout for, like, at the moment per T-share is around the 6.7. Payout per T-share hex around the 6 point, like comfortably 6.6, 6.7, comfortably. So in this, if we go back to this hex staking ladder, we can see here T-shares 35. Can you see that right there? The first
stake.
Yeah, the first stake's got 35. So essentially 35 T-shares multiplied by 6.7, which is just a rough sort of, looks like a average of what's being paid out per day. So that's 234 hex per day that's accruing behind the scenes in the contract that would accrue for that stake. And then you say, well, that's going to be for 1,826 days.
And don't forget that power rate is going to go up.
Yeah, so that comes to about 430-ish thousand hex, and then you add the 174 principal, which gets you to around that 600,000 hex mark. So yeah, those numbers seem pretty spot on to me, based on the daily payout at the moment, right? But as you just mentioned, Mayo, that daily payout is going to, let's, rather than say what it's going to do, let's talk about what it's done in the last 4 years. It has grown from basically almost nothing, and it's gone all the way up. I think a year ago, we can actually look on this chart. I'll go back to this daily stats chart, and we can have a look here. Will this allow me to increase how many rows? Let's show all the rows. Might take a bit of time to think about that. So yeah, we can see that it's just slowly edging up as time goes on. So we're at 6.7 now. You know, you get the occasional 9, as we've got here, 9.6 payout on that day. You know, but as you scroll down, and we're about a year ago here, we're at the 6.3, 6.4 mark. And if we go back another year, we're at the 5.9, 5.8, the 6 daily payout. So it's slowly edging up. So if that trend continues, like as we can see here in 2020 in December, the daily payout was 5.7, 5.8. There was some 6s in there every now and then. 5.8, 5. Yeah, so it's like it's edging up, right? Bit by bit. So if we were to follow that logic and follow the maths that's in the contract, as long as the staking behavior stays pretty much where it is now, as far as percentage of HEX staked, as a, you know, compared to the total supply, we can expect that daily payout to keep slowly edging up, right?
Yep. I did have another chart, so I'm just trying to find it. But
so ultimately, that means that over the course of 5 years, you might, you know, we're counting that the daily payout at the moment is 6.7, but in a few years' time, you know, it might be 7, 7.2, 7.3, 7.4, 7.8, 7.9, 8 HEX per day per t-shirt daily pay. It's going to edge up, you know, if we just follow the logic of what's happened in the past. So yeah,
it's just the code, the math.
it's the code, it's the maths, man. It's the maths. It's all there. So that's a pretty cool feature of this website. Yeah, I think this is something that was desperately needed in the ecosystem, like desperately needed. I'm gonna bring that up again. Let's see what's next. So once you decide what you want to do, click how to buy. And you're going to have an option. You can buy on HEX on the Ethereum chain, which is the first iteration of HEX, or the original launch was on Ethereum. And then in May this year, May 12th, there was a fork called PulseChain, and a copy of that original HEX contract now exists on PulseChain as well. And it is they share the history before the 10th or the 12th of May, whenever that date was. The history is shared, so you guys can go there. And I'm not sure what does it. I'll see what comes up when you click this. Okay, so you can buy by credit card. You can buy via wire transfer. Okay, that's cool. I've never seen this. This is all new to me. Okay, so it just talks you through. It says, do you already own a DeFi wallet like MetaMask? Let's just say yes. Goes navigate to change now. Okay, so you go there and you do it that way. It shows you what you need to do. Oh, it's all laid out. This is pretty cool, man. It's like completely laid out the way you need it to be. If I go back to how to buy, there's also like other methods. That was a credit card method, but you can also pay with a wire transfer from your bank. Or if you've got no idea, absolutely no idea, there is a safe process, and it's one-to-one support. But look, that's probably very few people will probably use that, because most people who are getting into crypto usually know someone who's going to be able to help you through with these other two processes.
That's the biggest thing at the moment, trying to educate everyone on how to do that.
Yeah, I don't know
It's the
about.
hot topic at the moment with the extra clicks, isn't it?
Oh, right. Yes. Well, that's yeah. What I mean, we can talk about that a bit. I mean, I personally think that it's like very overblown. You know what I mean? Like you can, and my reasoning is, I think my reasoning is fair, because you can come to Hex Scout, for example, and you can stake on this website. You can connect your wallet on this website and stake. Let's pick another website.
I sent you a quick chart too. I found that chart with the estimated payouts per T-share for the next till 2039.
You sent it to me, did you?
Yeah, in
Do you want to bring
Telegram.
it? You might have to bring it up yourself if you can. I'm not sure if I can get that Telegram on this right now. This one here, app.icosa.pro, is another staking website where you can stake HEX. Start stake, end stake. You connect your wallet up and start stake, end stake. There's the other site that we're on before, which is gopulse.com/HEX. Yet another staking site where you can stake HEX and stake HEX. But let's go to the website go.hex.com, which was the one that you're referring to. And you can go to this IPFS link, which takes you to the website, the Hex staking website, the original Hex staking website. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can go to gorealdefi.com, which is a website by RH Max. And essentially, every link here are all the Hex links right here. All the links to the IPFS websites. And you can verify the hashes as well. So if you click verify the hash, what it does is it goes here, and it shows you, this is all the code, right? So if we have a look here, go.hex.com, and we have a look at that one there, that hash, and then we go back to the go.hex.com website and have a look at this hash. That's the hash that you want to see, right? This one right here. Now, if you were to go to this gorealdefi.com website and do what I'm doing, you'll find that this highlighted hash here matches the highlighted hash here. Which means that you're going to the right site. So that's another way that you can visit, and use Hex stuff. You've got the hex.com staking site. You've got the bridge. You've got Launchpad. That's to become a PulseChain validator. You've got the Hex Explorer. You've got PulseX exchange. And you've got an Ethereum exchange here. But my favorite thing, dude, I'm not sure about yourself, but I out of all of these options, download the code and run the code locally.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah,
But
I think
that's a
that
great
is
place to point people that are not as into it as we are, I guess.
Well, it's very simple. It's a
Yeah.
very simple, way to do it. So if I click on that, there it goes. Takes you to this HEX staking site. Oh, you can't see that, can you?
No,
because
it's not come up.
It opened up a new. Yeah. There we go.
So that's using the IPFS.
Yes. So, now you are. Oh yeah. So there's also, I can see. There's loads of options. There's so many options. That's why I'm like, really? Are we really gonna focus on the fact that one of the many websites, which by the way, I didn't even use go.hex.com anymore. I did not use it anymore. I was always using iCosa
Yep.
because of the Hedron.
Yeah, I was going between that as well, probably 50% of the time.
So I'm not too fussed, and I think that this website here fixes that. I think this one here, if you really want something that's like a little bit easier, like aesthetically pleasing, and not just a bunch of links and software to download, you could go with the gorealdefi.com. But as I said, I prefer downloading, mate. I prefer downloading the code and running it locally. I think that is the superior way to do it.
Yeah, that's how I do it.
Yeah.
But for the other people that I'm trying to teach all the time, having somewhere which is following I call it the KISS rule, keep it simple. Like a site like this is really simple for them to follow and understand themselves rather than trying to understand, oh, what's IPFS mean? What's this like? Why is this taking me there?
Yeah. That's true. That's true. I mean, I guess it is easy to forget that we're pretty deep into the whole crypto thing. But yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat. What's going on? Thanks for coming along. I can see Wall to Wall TV has suggested stakehex.today. Let me just quickly jump on that.
Yeah, that's a really good one for ladder simulations.
Yeah, so here you can actually put in your address and it will show all your stakes. It will show all your stakes. They'll pop up and you can see what they'll be. There's also, I think on this site, if I remember correctly, you can say, oh, I've got 5,000 US. And this, by the way, this site only deals in Ethereum HEX. It doesn't deal with the PulseChain version. And this, what happens if I do this? 10 stakes.
Have you got that up? Do you want to share that? Still on the other one. There we go.
Yep. So, and you can play with prices here as well. So, for example, let's make this 5555. Okay. So, let's give me some price projections, mate. Let's be super conservative. I do love playing with this website, I gotta say.
Oh, let's go. I don't know. When are we looking at? What do you got there? Middle of next year? Let's just go 99 cents.
When's 99 cents?
That's it. Middle of next year. What do you got that for? And then the year after, go $1.20.
Oh, bro. Yeah. I'm gonna hang on, where's this one? This one, when are we gonna be? 8. Probably about here. 8. Is that okay? Right there. It's
Perfect.
like, yeah, it's like when could this be up here? When could it possibly be up there?
Is that the payout per share? Do you see the other chart I sent you in? Hang on. So what do you got there? 24.
Do you know what the thing about this website is when you play with it and things get out of hand really, really easily. You're like, you throw it to like $5-6 and you're like, geez, look at this. Look at this over here. It's like, okay, let me bring it back down.
Blown.
Let me bring it back down.
So if it goes 24, just go like 7 to 7.5 per T share.
Where do I do that?
Is it the grey line? Is it?
Yep. 7.5. When do you want 7.5? At what point?
Let's go middle of next year. And then go 25, go 8 in the middle of the year.
Jexar.
Hey, how you going, guys?
Hey, mate, how are you?
Yeah, good. Haven't spoken to you for a long time, mate. Eh?
It's been a while. Too long.
You've been busy working up there, haven't you?
Yeah, slaving away, busting my ass.
We'll have to get a bit of an update on Jakey Lund as well.
Yeah, he's in Thailand at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, Jake. Has he fought recently?
What was the last one? The last one was in Korea, I think, still. No. Hang on, let me check.
What was the other thing you wanted me to do with this chart, the Stake HEX today thing?
What do you got there? 7.5, go. Oh, that's right. See what that does.
So starting off at 7.5 and working up to 28, which is not unreasonable.
That's 28 in 15 years' time. I think that's
given how we're seeing things play out at the moment, that's going to get away from people really quick.
And what about price? This is the hard one. It's like price action. You know, it's hard to put it up here right now, because you're like, oh, how can I put it up here? But it could easily be up here next year.
Well, if you look where it was historically. If you just said it got to a little bit more than last all-time high, which you would think would be pretty reasonable, and then a pullback.
Yep.
It's not too shabby.
Not at all. Not at all.
So,
yeah, you can play with that all day. It's probably a bit boring for people to watch. So let me close all this stuff down. You sent me a link, which I'm going to bring up in a second. What's this link?
The predicted payout per T shares till 2039, and then also hexfire.io, another great community website.
Crispy Man. That's Crispy Man. Okay, so let me share this. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Daily payout T shares, 2022 to 2039. These are just projected. They're not, they're not set in stone. So 2025, 7.5. Oh, this one's way higher than what we put it at. We put it at 20 in 2038. We put it at about 25. This one's got it at like over 50.
Oh, it's like double. Wow.
Ooh. Over 50.
Is this Crispy Man's or?
This is Hex Shake.
You gonna chuck it up on the screen? Okay.
Oh, this is the Hex. Oh, it's not on the screen. Is it not on the screen?
No.
No.
I'm sucking at this job tonight. Every night.
It's Christmas. That's the excuse for next month.
What Archie's saying in chat, on Crispy Man's side, there's 2 predictions. And then I think there's the actual, and I think you can see how they've tracked over time, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, the share rate chart.
He's got a chart somewhere on the website. Hang on, what am I doing here?
Which is really good because it shows when we've had the big spikes with the ESSs.
He's also got a chart called like a Mayer multiple version, but with HEX. Do you remember that chart we used to talk about? The Mayer multiple?
Yeah. I never quite put the time into understanding that one, but yeah.
Up this hex fire, I'm getting a bit of. So what's been happening, Jaxa?
Well, actually, I'm not going to hang around too long for tonight, but I had to make a hasty retreat. I've been on a 2-day fast, and I just had to cook a barbecue for everyone. And I'm not allowed. I'm not going to eat it.
Teasing yourself.
That is torture, mate.
They'll hoe down on that.
Cruel and unusual punishment, self-inflicted. Oh man, how's your fasting going?
Yeah, this time's been easy as. I think as long as you keep busy, it's pretty easy going. So yeah, I've been running around playing basketball and a few other things today, so kept my mind off it. Bit of Chrissy shopping.
Definitely burning through some fat doing that.
How long have you been fasting?
It's probably going up on to about 40 hours or so.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So what are you taking for liquids?
I usually just have plenty of water, and then I've been using these. It's called Voost. It's like a multivitamin, and then I just grind salt into that as well. And that's about it, really.
Got to get on the Celtic salt. Have you tried that?
No, haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, it's really good for your guts.
Okay, Celtic.
Celtic, yeah.
Celtic, okay. SEL.
CELTIC, I believe.
CEL.
Yeah.
Celtic. All right. I'll write that one down.
I'm struggling to get this Hex Fire site up.
Yeah, I find it is a little bit quirky. I think it's because it's all done in Microsoft Dynamics. So it's good because you can get a lot of data into it, but it doesn't display terrifically. It's like, do you remember, what was the one we used to play around with that Firebun built?
Yeah. Hex Vision.
Hex Vision, yeah.
Hex
Vision. That's the one. And that was the same. Had so much data in it, but it was pretty clunky to navigate.
I just can't get into it. It's giving me a site insecure. That's strange. Can any of you guys get into that?
Hex. Let's see.
What's going on, Hex enthusiasts? Par Excellence, who are with us on a Friday afternoon for the happy hour show on the DeFi Down Under channel.
Yeah, no, that's come up for me, mate.
It came up for you.
Yeah, it's working.
Do you want to bring it up? Because it's not working for me.
Yeah, I'll just chuck it on another screen. What did you want to look at? What was the share rate, wasn't it? Or the payout? You got share rate. Hex share rate. Was it payout? There we go. Hang on. Let's see if I can share a bit of this action. Entire screen. Not doxing anything there. That looks all right. Let's go. See if it doesn't bomb me out.
There we go.
So we've got the two estimates here. So the KS one, and that must be hex fire one. Is it the HEX? Now I'll try and zoom in on that so we can see. But where's that get us to? This is only going up to 2026. That's up around the 10 mark, but that's on a pretty gradual slope. So let's see if I can see how well they've been able to track it.
So that's only 3 years away, the end of 2026. And that's projecting that by the end of 2026, we're going to see another like 3 point something increase hex, maybe 3.3 increase in hex for the daily payout up to
per
10
day per T-share.
It's pretty crazy.
It's not letting me. It's not letting me change dates or anything.
What's that? It's almost 50% more than what we're getting right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yep. It actually, yeah, that's right. It's pretty crazy, man. Because when we do all our calculations of how much hex we're going to get, we always do it on the current daily payout. So that the fact that creeps up is like this bonus, which pushes up your ROI. You know,
it must reset like where they're doing their estimates because they're all the same. So it must, once it gets past the estimate date, it looks like it syncs them all. But then up here, so it goes from 6.88 to 7. So they're a little bit. The HX estimate seems to be a little bit more conservative. So that blue line seems to be the more conservative one. But, yeah, it's a shame you can't zoom out on it. So that was the payout share rate.
I don't think that Mayer multiple one is available here. I think you can buy access to the full site. I think Patreon.
Right.
And then you get like all this extra, like heaps of extra stuff. All the detailed data.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Yep.
Well, it's crazy how many community sites there are. Like the list is endless.
I can't keep up on.
There's information everywhere.
Which is good. It's good to see that it's like that. This one used to be really clear and show you whether it was a bargain or not.
Oh no, there's one called Look into Hex. Oh, sorry, Look into Maxi. I'll bring it up.
Okay.
And
I know you're all over that, aren't you? 43.
Yeah. I'm just like, sometimes I just feel like sometimes that it's a better deal just to get some of those existing T-shares from these tokenized stakes. It's like a redemption for people who aren't sure or don't know what it is. It's essentially a redemption token for a stake in future. So,
yep.
You know,
and on the ETH side, this is looking a pretty good way to go at the moment, isn't it? Like if you want to
look at Base. Base is going to get bought up hard. Base is going to get bought up hard right now. Look, we only have 25 people watching, but liquidity on these things is so low that all it takes is a couple of people to just throw, like, because Base gets paid out.
That's eBay, but that's just rolled over though, hasn't it?
Yeah, so it's less than a year, but you've got a 20% premium discount.
Yeah.
So that's a no-brainer.
EDESI,
EDESI,
way
yeah.
below.
So Deci for some reason is way below on both, but on Pulse side it's even more. But that I can't. What's going on with eBase? Why is that like that? That's crazy.
Yeah, you
That's
think that
gonna
would have
change.
moved? I guess it depends how the liquidity sits with it.
Yeah, the liquidity. Someone must have sold some, and it's just pushed it down. Let's have a look at Pulse. Look at this, Deci. That's still 9 years away, though. That's 9 years away. But the beauty of this is you're getting T shares from a year, like a year and 13,
awesome
14
rate.
months ago. You're getting T shares from like 10-year T shares from a year and a half ago, and you're getting them at a 40. You're getting them at a what is it? The 40% discount.
No, so you got discount to premium. That's 18. So, but then below that, that's what's taken into account the T share rate. Is it? Or is that stake backing?
No,
I'm not sure.
No,
not sure how they're doing that.
That's the stake backing. Yeah, it's not the T. They don't take into account the T shares. I don't think. I need to get my head around it. I haven't thought about it in ages. All I know is that when it's red, it's good to buy.
So if you're looking for, like, you don't want to commit to the 15-year stakes or the 10-year stakes, that's pretty attractive option. There's no guarantees that that'll get brought into line anytime soon. But if you're just thinking long term, that's a pretty
another way to look at it is like this, right? That it costs 7,934 P Deci to get a T share. That's how many P Deci you need for a T share. But if you were to swap your HEX for P Deci, you would only need 6,474 HEX to get that T share. So then what you do is you take that 6,474 and say, how many T shares can I get for this?
For 10 years.
Yeah, so you can work it out, and we can actually. I don't even know what's the T share rate, about 31,000 at the moment.
Yeah,
it's supposedly jumped up recently, hasn't it?
Oh, has it? Let's quickly check it out. Where's that going to be? What website that's going to be on?
Go to HEX. Go hex.com. Go
hex.com.
You got to make that extra click.
Oh, hang on. No, I'll go to we'll go to HEX stats.
Even daily, HEX daily stuff.
Stats.today. Give it to me.
I've got to connect the wallet. It's not going to work for me.
Or even probably Go Pulse. Would Go Pulse do it?
HEX daily stats has it. If it loads.
No, I've got MetaMask on this one. Let me find somewhere else.
Why is this not loading? There we go. Yeah, so we're about 31,000 on, and I still don't know which one this is. About 31,000 on that one, and yeah, they're about 31,000 on both chains. So that means all right. So what that means is I'm going to do what we not supposed to do and do some maths on stream. 31,000 ish for a T share, but if you stake it out for 10 years, you can get a T share 10,350, right? 10,350 HEX will get you one T share. 10,350 HEX will get you one T share. However, if you buy the P Deci at 6,474 HEX, which will get you a T share. And not only that, it's not 10 years out. It's 9 years out, less than 9 years out. So it's like, I see this stuff and it's just like.
Yeah. So I just put that into go.hex.com. 6,475 for 10 years will get you 0.6 of a T share. So that's your 40% discount.
There you go.
So if you're long terming it, that's a no brainer. Like if you're going to chuck out a 10-year stake, that's a no brainer.
You have to be careful though, right? Because you can't just ape in massive amounts into this.
No.
Because the liquidity is so thin on these pairs. I'll bring up Bex Screener. We can have a look at it. But I know that there's just not much in liquidity. So if you go in with too much HEX and want to swap too much HEX for too much DESI, you're going to push that. You're not going to get that rate. You're going to move the chart. So DESI. What were we looking at? PDESI. Okay, not too bad. There's still $54,000 worth of 27 on each side.
That's not a big buy. That will shift that though.
Yeah. So there's only 3 million. Or in this pair, there's only 3 million DESI pooled. And then there's like half a million, or just under 500,000 wrapped pulse on the other side of that one. Are you guys looking at this? No, you're not.
No.
Let me bring it up. I've been doing that all night.
So whilst you're bringing up that, got it.
So that's DESI and pulse. But if I look up DESI and HEX, there'll be a DESI HEX pair. This one here. There's only $16,000 in this. $8,000 on each side. It's very, very thin, and I'm sure it will take it out of. Like there'll be routing that takes place if you go to Bateas or something. So, but still, if you can't.
So the gotchas are obviously low liquidity, moving in and out is an issue, and what Hex Bohr has just put in chat. Potentially, if you hold it to maturity, there's a big unlock that you're going to be part of.
Well, I think exactly. There's the stakes are well over 150 million HEX. But there's another good thing about that is that you get the full bigger pays better bonus on those stakes.
Well, the easy way to look at it, if you're buying it at a 40% discount now, what you're saying is the price could essentially dip 40% and you would still be in front. Is that the right way to look at it?
I think so.
Like you could,
I think so.
If it did get absolutely punished, you would still think that you would be, unless obviously if it drops down more than 40%.
Look, the game of Hex is pretty simple. You need to have as many T shares as you can. I mean, that's the game. Like if you want to trade, trading is another discussion altogether. But the game of Hex is have as many T shares as you can have, so that you're earning as much of the inflation as you can get. That's the game of Hex. So if you're playing that game, then getting a piece of. Look, I don't want to dissuade anyone from staking native on the Hex contract. Do that. I think that's a good move.
Least risk.
But I think that these tokens that are undervalued to what they're accruing, to me, it's just like this stuff is no brainer. You know, that's just what,
So
my perspective.
Do you think? Well, actually, I'm sort of going to self-answer the question here. Let's say we get a massive pump right through to the end of the bull market. That liquidity that you've got sitting there now, what did we say it was?
8,000 on each side.
8,000, yeah, 20K for round numbers. If that goes up 10x or 100x, then it probably does mean that you can get out with larger exits. Obviously, if everyone tries to do it, it's not going to work. But that's just a natural factor of if you've got 10 grand you need to sell, or 5 grand you need to sell now into 8 grand liquidity, that's not great. But if it goes up 100x and you still got that same, no, because then you're going to have 100x more value. No, that doesn't work, does it? Nah, forget that one. Yeah, there's got to be a way to get better liquidity support for it.
I think as time goes on, like as you get closer to maturity, I think more people will join the liquidity pool. As you get close, but it's so far out that it's like, you know, but as you get closer and that maturity is there, and then look, I see the thing about people being troubled by that, you know, that big unlock after 10 years. But look, I just think it's to me, like the way I see it, I think that when I see T shares that cheap, for me, it's a no brainer. That's just my perspective.
So that's another 2 cycles you've got to go through as well.
But like, if you're going to do a 10-year stake,
can happen.
But like, if you're going to do this is the thing. Like, if you want to get the max T shares you can get, you have to do a long 10-year stake, right? That's how you get the max T shares. But it's cheaper. You get more T shares for less HEX, and you don't have to wait the 10 years. It's like, you know.
Yeah. The something to keep in mind as well. So there's already one protocol that's getting built to do this. This is obviously not an endorsement of that protocol, but there's one protocol that you're going to be able to stake through them. So it basically similar to a HSI where you're using another contract. It interacts with the HEX contract to do a native stake, but then that is actually collateral for minting a stable coin. And then you're going to be able to use Maxi and HSIs and other things as well as collateral. You're muted, mate.
That's like a liquid loans type deal.
Similar. I had a look at it, and the only thing I'm not convinced about yet, and this is only because I haven't spoken to anyone involved in the project, is how the peg is maintained. And from what I can gather, they seem to think that market dynamics will take care of that. But I'm not so sure. I think you need to be able to have that redemption facility, and they have one, but it's like an auction sort of style, and I just don't know how efficient that will be.
They need something. They need a pool against another stable, then, don't they? So that it's going to get arbed. So it gets arbed, yeah.
So there's 2 things that keep a stable coin in peg, and so we've seen this play out with liquid loans. Is everyone just believed that it was going to be pegged to $1 because they understand the way the system works. So before redemptions were enabled, price was getting held. If people knew what they were doing, they were able to play that price swing and make an easy 5-6%. So we've seen that happen. So the market took care of that, but that doesn't mean it's always going to do that. Like you actually need mechanisms in place that do make a hard peg on either side. So you've got a soft peg where that's market dynamics keeping it in equilibrium, but then you need hard peg things as well. And that's what I haven't seen on this other protocol is some sort of hard peg mechanism. So, but long and the short of all of that was we're talking about the here and now and DESI and things like that, but down the line, there's going to be protocols that get built or that allow those to be sucked into it and used for something else, used as collateral. So, yeah, I think there's you don't want to think too short term on stuff like that. There's a lot to get built out still.
It's early days for PulseChain. Very early days.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So did you guys see any of Richard Hart's tweets in the last few days? There were a couple of interesting ones, hey? Let me just bring
the one that sticks with me is the one where about the SEC not acting as though they're part of their official capacity, so they're talking more on a personal note. That was an interesting one.
The SEC is pretending that hugging is punching and charging parents with battery as an analogy. Is that the one you're talking about? Another analogy
I think he flowed onto that one.
Another analogy would be that the SEC is like a highway patrolman trying to write astronauts tickets for speeding. It's a violation of due process, free speech, freedom of association, freedom of contract, and tortious interference. It's arbitrary and capricious choosing of winners and losers in technology protocols. This is very true. This is very true.
It is.
They're picking winners and losers, which is what we don't want to see in a capitalist society, right? You don't want to see government agencies picking winners and losers. You just want the market to decide by itself. It's also de facto bans vastly outside congressional intent or their mandate. Sadly, the administrative state is rife with such overreach and basically denial of service attacking the judicial branch. Gensler is on record stating this is something to the effect of, if you're not losing cases, you're not bringing enough. This is all, of course, unconstitutional, and losing cases seems to have little effect. They just pretend that hugs are punches in the next case again. Federal employees take oaths to uphold the Constitution. That's a question. Yeah. Federal employees take oaths to uphold the Constitution. Yeah. It stuck out
and
to
that
me.
Was the next one. The next one he flowed down to, was that the one about
when you sign as an officer of a company? Is that the one?
Yeah.
I'll read
that's
that.
the better one.
When you sign as an officer of a company, instead of personally, your company acts as a shield. For some reason, SEC operatives like to speak not on behalf of the SEC, which I figure means they're speaking on behalf of themselves. So when someone prejudges nearly all cryptos to be securities, it sounds like tortious interference to me and has a real-world measurable effect on markets, which sounds like damages to me. The duality of working hard to get rid of your qualified immunity shield and speak not on behalf of an agency always seemed risky for SEC employees to be doing. I do wonder what countries might bring charges against people acting outside their authority and outside their qualified immunity for tortious interference and market manipulation, perhaps even libel and slander. I'm not a lawyer, though, nor professional of any kind, so who cares what I think?
So he hit the nail
Sounds
on the
like
head.
he knows
And
what
I'm
he's
not sure
talking about to me, man.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he's referring as far back as the Hinman speech or whether he's speaking more recently about Gary, possibly both. But either way,
he was
sounds like
saying,
he's
I
in
wonder which countries, because he raises an interesting point, like what the SEC is doing to, they're affecting the whole world. They're affecting people in Australia, like they're affecting us. All you have to do is look at the chart. Look at the charts from when the SEC brought that civil case. Look at what happened to the chart from that point onwards. It erodes confidence in
markets. That is the definition of manipulation. If you're bringing uncertainty to a market, that is manipulation. I think we spoke about this on the happy hour show. Yeah, where the only gotcha, because like you said, he's playing in a global market. He shouldn't be allowed to affect global markets. Fair enough if their remit is the US markets, and in particular the markets he has direct oversight over. So that's the whole thing where he's trying to pin a HEX user to being a user of Uniswap, which is a company registered in Brooklyn. So he's trying to tie all that all the way back to his jurisdiction. But that's one person in that country. He's affecting a whole global market. So I don't know if you can isolate it just to...
Well, and he's also saying that they're acting as if there's no consequences for them, because in the very next case, they'll make the same. They'll do the same things and say the same things, even though it's been thrown out in a previous case. So they're not learning anything, and they're not changing their behavior based on the results of these cases. And one of what he also said in that tweet was, wouldn't it be interesting if people from other countries explored action against the SEC for how they're affecting markets outside of the country.
Yep.
So that's an interesting thing. That's an interesting thing that we should be talking about.
At the moment, he's got a bit of protection with Elizabeth Warren, and there's obviously a cohort of them that have got an agenda there, which is pretty clear. So it depends whether, and her agenda is just an outright ban on crypto, and that's the bill they're trying to get through at the moment. What she's trying to push through at the moment is essentially an outright ban on crypto, just worded in a different way. So it just depends whether she stays around, whether there's a changing of the guard or what. But there's obviously a corrupt element there that just doesn't want crypto to exist at all.
My understanding is that she's only ever introduced, like, out of the maybe 150 pieces of legislation she's introduced, only one has ever got through. So she's not. I don't
think that's her problem. I was listening to something else today, and I think that is just the way the process works. Is most things don't get through.
Yeah,
like it's a battle for them to get through the whole process.
Yeah, but it's a battle, but I don't know how effective she's going to be in because I think she's preaching to the converted, right? Yeah. Think about the base of someone like that. Her base already doesn't like they already don't like crypto. Is my point.
Do you think that's true though? Like, just because she's out there saying that, do you think her constituents really think that? I think it's like 50% of people in the US own crypto or something, don't they? Or some 25% or some huge number. Do you really think that she is listening to her constituents and acting in their best interest? And I reckon that's where she's deviated. So. Yeah,
could be market manipulation, couldn't it?
Hey, the audacity of some of these politicians, she's one of those ones that has millions upon millions in her bank account, yet only earns $300,000 or $400,000 a year, but has tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in her bank account. Somehow she's accrued this money in the last 10 years. Somehow, you know, and you know, you have to be naive to not think that it has something to do with knowing what's going to happen on the regulation side in advance and making moves, you know, smart moves to capitalize on that.
So the bill that she had drafted was drafted by the Bankers Association. So I think that's all you need to know.
Yeah, yeah.
So she didn't consult anyone else, went to the bankers to get them to write how crypto should be managed and regulated. Because apparently they know.
Well, I mean, you know, they just want to, they see something that's taking away from, that's going to take away from them, and they want to try and control it. That's nature. We could expect that, and we shouldn't even be upset about it. We should just be prepared for it, you know, because that's nature. That's nature. Nature playing out the way it does. You know, there's going to be a fight. It's going to be one will against another will. I just wish that our side of crypto side could just, you know, unite a little bit. And I think the biggest issue we have is with this, with some. I actually think there's more of I think they're a loud minority, like the Bitcoin maxis who think that there shouldn't be any other crypto, or there shouldn't be any other development. It's like it's the most ridiculous position to take. If you're in like a sector that has to do with software and, you know, good code, how could you ever take the position that no development should take place? It's absurd. It's absurd.
You can't have it both ways. Either you're for free speech and code, and you may not like what's going on over there, but everyone's playing by the same rules. And if you want to carve out separate rules for your little bit of software and not these guys over here, that's just hypocritical.
It's all about the bigger picture.
What's that?
It's all about the bigger picture. We're all here for the same reason.
That's it. And like there was a book that I read a little while back called The Ethics of Money Production, and it was written before Bitcoin came out. But it just goes through the idea that and it's got to do with like the Austrian, you know, economists and the way they see things, and having hard money, and but the idea in this book was, you know, we should have the best forms of money, and there might be different forms of money that come up. Everyone could potentially create their own type of money, and it's the best forms of money, you know, they're the ones that will end up being used. So it's like competition in the market for money. That was the idea. That was the idea. Because at the moment, what we have, or what we had then, was we have the competition for fiat money, you know, and we have a competition between nation states of who can inflate their currency. You know, they're all inflating their currency, and you know, you've got countries like El Salvador who have made that jump to now having Bitcoin as legal tender. Who knows what's going to happen with Argentina? I wouldn't be surprised if they make that move as well, right? Now, what do we think is going to happen when you've got a couple of countries like that, which are seen as basket cases around the world a couple of years ago? What do you think will happen if they start to prosper because of these moves? What do we think is going to happen? I think it's going to be like there's going to be a domino effect of countries just saying, hey, why aren't we using Bitcoin as legal tender? And then once that starts happening, and these countries, which are, you know, producers, manufacturers, start demanding payment for their goods in Bitcoin or crypto, or any other crypto, Ethereum, and then that this is where a tipping point would happen in the world, you know. a tipping point
there
where
is. Sorry, you go.
Go on.
So someone just put in a chat about the citizenships and things like that. And what I'm seeing a lot of lately is if you've got a country that embraces this, and what was the one I seen the other day? Shit, small island off of Philippines, Palu or somewhere it's called. I can't remember what it's called now. But it's like got 20,000 people live there, but they've got high-speed fibers running to their island. The island's highly connected, and they can be a hub for digital businesses and digital nomads. And they're not doing citizenships at the moment, but you can get their issued IDs. So a government issued ID. I think it's not much. I can't even remember how much it was. It was less than $1,000 or something. But you can get a government issued ID from them, so you can go sign up to exchanges and all that with a legitimate government ID. But you're never a citizen there. You don't even have to necessarily step foot there, but you could run your business from this digital island. So that if people are waking up to that, like these guys got absolutely smashed in COVID, or their whole economy was wrecked. So they're just going, okay, well, we can open up our doors. We've got everything we need to be able to support this digital movement. So if the US don't do it, others will.
Got to get left behind.
Yeah. There's a massive pot of cash that they can see. So they're not going to turn their backs on it.
You muted 40.
Especially if they start seeing these first movers doing well. There will just be a tipping point where, or like it works for a few of them, and then they all decide to do it. And then that leaves like the rest of the world, like all the traditional powerful countries, just sitting there going, okay, now what do we do?
Yeah, I'll put this in chat.
Well, once the ball gets rolling, it'll end up snowballing, won't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's a real possibility in my mind. It is a real possibility that something like that happens, and then they just all go, hey, this has been lucrative. All these other countries go, this has been lucrative for these few countries. Let's all do it. But I just want a couple of things. First, I want to mention the I Am Brutes on Crypto Banter. He mentioned that Pulse was undervalued. Crypto Banter is quite a big channel, crypto channel, and since then we've seen quite a bit of a pump, like a 20 to 25% pump in the RH ecosystem. May, you've also put a Facebook link there. I don't have Facebook.
Yeah, neither do I.
What is that?
I sent the video of Iron Brutes, a little snippet if you want to play it.
Yeah, I don't go.
No, that's the X one.
Oh, which one? Oh, yeah, the one there. Let me see if I can get this up. And what's this about? Honey?
Oh, I've seen
Capilano.
You know, the Aussie honey brand Capilano has been delisted from the stock and share market and being bought out by some Chinese company so they can do what they got to do the dodgy sales. In short, how do you have a read? There's a big story there.
Okay, yeah, it's first I've heard about that. I'll have to
privatize it.
Yeah, right. Guys, I'm going to have to bolt. I've got family staying with me at the moment that have flown a long way to come over and see me. So I just thought I'd pop in while they were eating their barbecued meats. I'll go back out and join them now. But just want to say, yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone if I don't get to see you beforehand. I may be around on the Friday show, but yeah, I think we've got a couple of good years heading our way. So enjoy the time with your families. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to say. You're catching up with all your families. Don't make it too heavy, but at least have a brief conversation about what's going on with CBDCs and the central bank digital currencies. No one's got a frigging clue what's heading their way. They're all talking about, I'm going to get charged extra to use cash now. I'm getting charged at the till to use credit cards, and they're getting pissed off with it, but they don't actually see this freight train that's coming their way. So just make them aware of it, because at least if they're aware of it, they can make better informed decisions when these things come up.
Use cash.
Yeah.
Use cash.
And so this is speaking for me
Cash
personally,
is awesome.
this is my parents. So they were big users of cash, and they're now saying they're getting told they can't use cash, or they're going to pay extra to use cash. So that's when they start going, holy shit, what's going on? Why is everything like this happening? And you've got to have that conversation, because before it gets too far.
The biggest, like the craziest thing in Australia is that if you want to go pay the government for something, you can't pay them cash. You have to pay with a credit card or a bank transfer or something. It has to be digital. That is the craziest thing ever.
Yep.
That is crazy. The Australian government don't even accept their own cash.
Sad.
They don't even accept their own cash. What?
All right, guys. I've really got to fly. Thanks for the chat, and I'll hopefully speak soon.
Thanks for jumping on, Jex. I appreciate it.
Bye, guys.
Merry Christmas, mate. Cheers.
Bye.
Let me play this, mate. I've got this clip that you sent me. Tell me, can you hear it?
Yep.
King, you say you didn't get into bunk.
No, I'm actually not a very big Solana supporter. So
okay.
No, not you wouldn't see me on Solana.
Why are you not a very big Solana supporter? I mean, Solana is like, it's fast and it's cheap, and if you're trading meme coins, surely you don't want to be spending a lot of money on gas and stuff like that. So surely Solana is an amazing place to be.
Absolutely. Solana is killing it right now, this bull market. But the thing is, everybody's talking about Solana right now. And as a meme coin trader, you guys absolutely smash it if you're in bulk. You killed it. Life-changing gains for every single one of you. Like, power to that, because that was me. What I did with Solana was what everyone was doing to me when it was with SHIB. Every single major YouTuber said, all these things are just pump and dumps. Do not get in SHIB. They tried to ignore SHIB. Now everyone's talking about SHIB. Look at it. We're on Crypto Banner right now talking about meme coins. Last bull market, that wouldn't have happened. So I give you support. However, when it comes to Solana, I think there's a bigger and better chain that everybody is sleeping on that is going to give massive wealth, in my opinion.
And what is that?
That chain's PulseChain.
You think PulseChain?
Hear me out. Hear me out right now. Everybody is talking about Solana, AVAX, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and these are all in the multiple billions dollars of market caps. But PulseChain is sitting at an $800 million market cap. It is the #1 undervalued layer 1 in all of crypto. So what does that mean? That means there's nothing but opportunity on the layer 1. So because there's opportunity on the layer 1, I guarantee you every single one of you watching right now is sleeping on the meme coins on the most undervalued layer 1.
Buzz.
Yeah, man. That's that and I think after that went live, the whole ecosystem pumped 20%. So that's awesome.
People starting to realize
more of that. Yeah, dude. What else were we gonna cover? I was actually thinking of winding it up pretty soon. Unless you can hold the fort, because I need to go. I need to go to the loo,
I'm gonna go too. I think the loo.
and empty the bladder.
Drain the dragon.
I can't hold it in. I've heard it's bad to hold it in.
Yeah, it's acidic. Bad for you.
Yeah,
I gotta go as well. I gotta drain the dragon. So,
all right, guys.
Anyone else jumping in?
I want to shout out to everyone in the chat. Thanks for coming along. Appreciate you guys. And And if we don't see you before next week, have a Merry Christmas. Yeah, and we'll, hey mate, if you've got next week off, come back and we can do it again.
I'll be here.
Awesome.
Try and catch up and have a bit more to talk about.
Awesome. All right. Cheers to everyone. We'll see you next time.
See you guys. Peace.